So what we're going to make today is we're going to make sweet and sour meatballs, and what you'll need is you'll need 1 pound of ground beef, and I have beef there. You need an egg, which I have, and you'll need 1/4 of dry breadcrumbs, which are right there, but if you don't have breadcrumbs you can use crackers. 1 onion diced, that's if you like onions. I'm using the onion and I have green onions there that I'm growing, so I'm going to use those as well. You need a cup of packed brown sugar, which I have right there, and you need 3 tablespoons of all-purpose flour or corn starch, and I have both, so depending on which one you like to use, go ahead and use one or the other. And you need 1 and 1/2 cups of water, 1/4 cup of distilled white vinegar, and 3 tablespoons of soy sauce, and 1/4 of a cup of ketchup, which I have right there. So as you see, I have a really big package of hamburger, so I'm going to make a lot of meatballs today. But I'm going to show you how to make enough just for if you wanted to make one batch. So I'm going to fast forward to where I have all the ingredients measured out. So what we're going to do now is we're going to add in our 1.5 cups of water, which is right here. And we're going to add in our cup of brown sugar. We're going to add in the 1/4 of a cup of ketchup. And then we have to add in the 3 tablespoons of soy sauce, and as well as 1/4 of a cup of vinegar. So I'm just going to get that, and we're going to add. So we're going to put our 1/4 of a cup of distilled white vinegar. And now all we have to do is put the 3 tablespoons of soy sauce in. So I'm just going to grab that, and then we're going to put that in as well. So here's 1 tablespoon. Here's the 2nd tablespoon. And the 3rd and final tablespoon of soy sauce. So it has the 3 in there. So now we're going to heat it up and mix it together, and while that's doing that, I'm going to work on. So I'm going to use my KitchenAid mixer to mix my hamburger, which I have right here. I'll put that in there. And I'm going to put my breadcrumbs in there, which is 1/4 of a cup. And I have some onion mixture, which is green onions and regular onions diced up here. I'm going to sprinkle some of those in there. And since these are the meatballs for the sweet and sour, I'm not going to put any spices in or anything. I'm just going to leave it without the spices for the sweet and sour sauce can have its effect. So I'm going to mix those up. And how I'm going to do that is I'm going to use my flat mixer attachment, which I have right here. And I'm just going to stick it on there. I should probably have done it earlier, but I find it's harder to put things in there when you have the part in there. Okay, so there we go. So now that we have that in there, I'm going to put the egg in as well, which I have right here. Just take me a second here. I'll just drop my camera there. So there's the egg. So now I'm going to mix it up, which button over here. Actually. Okay, so what I'm doing now is I'm using my mixer to mix it up where I can save the energy on my hands. So I'm just going to start to mix them as in the ball shape. So as you see, we have the sauce on low heat right there, just for it to simmer while we've been mixing up the meatballs. I just preheated the oven to 375 for when I put the meatballs in to cook, that it'll be set to the right temperature. So I'm going to show you what the meatballs are going to look like once they're rolled out. So once you have your meatballs rolled out, they're going to look like this. And as you see, I have them in a baking pan that can go in the oven, and I'm just going to put a little bit of water in there just so they don't stick to the bottom. And I'm going to put them in and bake them for 20 minutes on 375. I'm going to show you what they look like when they come out of the oven. So I'm just going to put in my 3 tablespoons of flour. Now I'm using flour instead of cornstarch. It doesn't really matter which one you want to use, whatever one you prefer. There's 1. There's 2. And there's 3. And that'll just thicken the sauce up for it's not so thin. And I'm just going to mix it up, and I'm going to fast forward to when we're ready to take the meatballs out and put the sauce on. So what you want to do here is you want to take a whisk and whisk it into the sauce for all those little bumps of flour seem to disappear. So you're just going to continue until they disappear. And as you can see, it doesn't take any time at all, and now it's smooth again. So I'm just waiting for the meatballs. So the meatballs have been in for 20 minutes on 375. We're going to take them out of the oven now and put them in the slow cooker and put the sauce on. I'm just going to fast forward to the next step and show you. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take the meatballs out of the pan, just because that way we can get the grease out of there. And we're going to put them in the slow cooker. And then once we have them in the slow cooker, we can put the sauce on top of them and start cooking them. And this way there's no grease. So now the meatballs are ready to be served. So you can add them on to rice, and they do make a great supper. And I'm going to thank everybody for watching, and like and subscribe.